Ladies and Germans, how you all doing? This is Con Ulrich.
And I'm Rangru. Hello, hello, hello.
And folks, we are giving you some lovely SD2 League action today. Today on Orsha North, Rang, who do we have?
On the left-hand side, in the blue, we have ourselves gnef, playing as the Panzer Grenadier across Deutschland, with a balanced income. Right-hand side in the red, we have a high chance of being Gonzo. We'll see by the play if it's actually Gonzo. He's playing 7th Mechanized Corps with a Juggernaut income.
Well, Juggernaut income, that kind of feels like it's definitely a worthwhile opportunity, since this is the division where you get oodles and oodles of 3476s, especially in C, and all those lovely ISUs and the 122s, 152s. I mean, there's a lot of numbers going on here.
Indeed, and in a balanced first Juggernaut matchup, really the Juggernaut income has the advantage, because both sides are going to be playing for that C phase, and Roy, you're going to have more of those points in C phase. Not as great in B, but frankly, you can survive. You're going to definitely get your money's worth if you survive to a C phase.
Well, the thing to kind of watch out for, though, is that gnef does have things like the Recon Panther, or at least very nice early play from the middle part of this field. Though I guess he does have to be very cautious about the Su-85s, which will be kind of an omnipresent threat here.
Yeah, it's very interesting getting that, like, heavy tank, medium tank, whatever you want to bloody call it, right off the bat. It's hard to use heavy tanks on this map, just because of usually how CQC it is, but he is playing it in a more open central area, so it seems like he's going to try and maybe push a bit more aggressively here, but he doesn't really have much other forces. He has, like, the Flammen Troop and a single Panzer Grenadier, which isn't really enough to make a push, and yeah, those Su-85s, and can cause a bit of a hassle at close range.
They certainly can, but, you know, when they open up and reveal their position to the Jedi, alas, they will have their revenge. So we also have a mortar half-track actually engaged in the open field, Tango de Sant'Niki. These guys, not very good at catching mortar rounds with their hands.
No, they definitely don't want to be a catcher.
No, I mean, I was fighting the urge to make this a non-G-rated cast, and I think we'll just leave that where it is at the moment. But you can see right now, Soviets are massing pretty popularly to kind of go and push back this Panther D in case it gets frisky. But there's not going to be a lot of early heavy armor play, I don't think, from gnef.
Or really aggressive play in general. It is a trove. If we just look at the rest of the map, very defensive deployments from both sides. Neither one is going for any aggressive plays on the hills or even in the town. So just seeing a skirmish line set up in the center, which is so bizarre for Orsha North. It's usually a flank-heavy map.
It absolutely is. I mean, we're so used to kind of seeing both of these, I always call them factories, but just these little communes to the northern and southern parts of the line. And I'm thinking we might see the potential for that. T-34-76 in the south, maybe not. I'm trying to think about where we're seeing some light skirmishing starting to develop.
Yeah.
Potentially to the north.
Yeah, Gonzo really should be trying to play in on the flanks, because he definitely has that medium tank spam, which is so good at CQC fights, while gnef with the Gross Deutschland definitely more reliant on those heavy tanks, which just don't really perform as well in 1v1s, I find. 1v1s is definitely a little bit more like medium tank, and on Orsha North at least, a bit more medium tank heavy.
Well, the SDK have said the 251 9D models, it's kind of fun to see those guys. It's basically the pack tracks with the P4 kind of turret. And way up to the north, actually, the Czech P38 is going to engage, for the moment, decently well. But again, the Stokie DPs don't have to really do a whole lot to push them back, I don't think.
No, we're actually seeing, like, finally a bit of aggressive play here from gnef trying to take his northern commune, because the mortar half-track helping out. I feel like he's going to have a pretty good time stressing out Stokie and then just maybe, getting those stim group in to finish the job. We are seeing T-34 reinforcements being brought in, which could be enough. I mean, the Panzer 38T of the autocannon isn't going to be all that scary.
No, but you have to watch out for those Panzerfaust 60s. I mean,
oh yeah, and the Panzer Treks.
Exactly. And I did think I saw a couple more 251s now. Okay. The 251s are engaging more along the central line, which I think is probably a better option overall, and that's an early airplane. What are we seeing? The PE2. So the PE2 being kind of called in, as we almost expect, to engage that lovely little Pack 40. And that's the major thing. I feel like Gross Deutschland is kind of in a rough spot pretty consistently, because your anti-tank, while it's good, tends to be very immobile for a lot of it.
Yeah, it's mainly just anti-tank guns. You're really relying on those heavy tanks to do a lot of the heavy lifting, as we've seen with the Recon Panther. But he has very good infantry, so he should be able to match up with Gonzo in that regard. And both sides did build pretty heavy for that C phase, B phase, especially gnef. So I definitely feel like this is, especially with the income, going to be a bit of a longer match.
Definitely has the potential to do that, that's for sure. Down to the south real quick, just checking in on that. Not a whole lot really happening there. Some desultory kind of sniping over here in the meantime in the center, and yeah, the main story here is just engaging that northern position with lots of mortar fire. The T-34-76 is not going to be able to successfully support that ailing kind of Russian infantry.
Oh, this is perfect. He stunned up most of the Russian infantry. The Sturmgruppe are, well, going to Sturm right into here, and
and then smoke just in case. Beautiful play.
Oh, it's made me very happy seeing that smoke play. That is perfect. And as you can see, one fell swoop, he's managed to clear out the commune. And this is why you take mortar half tracks.
Yes, it is. But this is also why you take PE2s. I mean, there's no anti-air really on the map at all for the Germans. And we're going to see in just a second. Whoa, okay.
I think you lost line of sight because of all that smoke.
Yeah, but you know what? That's an attack ground. I wonder if I've ever seen one. So, I don't know. Sturg up here to the north can be kind of deployed defensively against any kind of aggression from the T-34-76. And I actually kind of like this aggression from the Sturmgruppe. As you and I actually kind of talked about just before we went live, the MP-44s, the MG on them, and heck, it's not great anti-tank with the anti-tank grenades, but at least you're getting something out of it.
Yeah, it's better than having no anti-tank. Yeah, very nice little group. I mean, of course, Deutschland does have some lovely infantry available to them, and at CQC are really going to be beaten out any of those strokey DPs. We're seeing some tanko decent EQ being brought in, which will be able to, maybe if they get their Molotovs off, actually have a good chance against the Sturmgruppe.
They'll have a chance, that's for sure, but a 3-1, I'm not really sure I like those odds, especially when you have the green cover. So, yes, the Papa Shah is always ready to be there to be served hot and fresh, but with such numbers, I'm not even sure they can feed enough bullets to take care of all of them.
Oh, here comes the bomb and run. Takes out a few of the Sturmgruppe, and the Molotov force and the other one to fall back, so high chance of being Gonzo. Still trying to confirm if it's Gonzo. We'll get back to you at the end of the cast once our analysts have made their report. He's actually making a pretty good counter-attack up north here. I mean, the T-34 is still alive, and that's definitely going to be a rather key unit, because there's no real armor here from gnef that can... Oh, except from the Stug being brought in. But it's only one tank and, a few Panzerschrecks and anti-tank grenades, and if he's smart, you can pretty reasonably avoid those.
Yeah, but the thing is that the Stug against the T-34-76, especially the 43 variants that we're going to be seeing here, they're good, but they're a little slow on the turn. Like, it matches up a lot better in my mind to have a Stug going into this as opposed to a P4. And we've talked constantly about the perils and the bonuses of the P4, but I think especially right now I'd rather have a Stug in this position just because of the more kind of closed-in facet of this map.
Yeah. I mean, especially if you're playing the 78th Sturm Division, you 100% want to be taking Stugs. Just got to put it out, yeah.
First German aircraft coming in, going after that PE-2. Virtually with the PE-2, PE-2's going to go after the Panther. Yeah, this is a very, very good call here. But I think the Panther might be able to get out in time? Oh no, those bombs are... Wow.
He dodged out pretty well.
Yeah, he did. I was quite impressed.
Yeah. I don't think he really took much HP damage. It's a little bit of suppression. Zooming in on the Panther model, it has taken quite a bit of HP damage already, so I think one good bomb and run could knock it out. Oh, bit of a fairball.
Yeah, that Focke-Wulf, though, really not the most... I guess the whole kind of, payload slowed him down quite a bit there. But yeah. I had expected a better showing, I imagine. At least looks like Denisov might meet his end. I don't think he's going to be able to get the quick on the turn on that one. The P-40 is not as maneuverable in my mind, at least in game it feels like. Oh no, but 37mm might save his little behind.
Oh yeah, especially as the Focke-Wulf flying right over 3-star 30mm. 37mm, that's going to be more than enough to force him back.
And with that kind of aggression and that kind of success, we are seeing a lot of smoke, and that's the kill.
Wow.
Jeez, that's a devastating loss. The Germans don't actually have a lot of air power. In fact, they just lost 50% of it in the last minute or so.
Yeah, Does he really only...
He has 4 planes.
Wow.
So he had 1 fighter bomber and 3 interceptors. He's just lost his fighter bomber and half of, 1/3 of his interceptors.
Yeah, it's not a great position to be in. But I do like how he has the stock on the northern side by the town, providing some fire support. I believe, yes, already 5. Actually getting some pretty bad hits here. Or no hits at all, I should really be saying. There we go. Finally something.
Yeah, well, it's something. I'm not sure what it is, but it's something.
Mm-hmm.
And as another pack track goes down, where is that Panther in the meantime? I don't think... Did he go down?
I think he went down.
Yes, he did. He absolutely went down. That's a big loss right there. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And we are looking at 13-11 over here against gnef right now. Resurgent push in the north are at least kind of stemming the bleeding, and the central position that we talked about before kind of being loosely held by some of that heavier armor in very, very rough position now.
Yeah, higher chance of being Gonzo doing a fantastic push in the center, giving him a nice 1 flag advantage here. And yeah, he just has a good amount of units. I mean, he doesn't have anything super heavy or crazy. It's really just a mix of SUs from 76 to 152mm, but it's really more than enough. And frankly, I mean, gnef is going to have to really reply back with Tigers or Panthers, which are very big priority targets, and especially with high chance of Gonzo, if it was PE2s, it's going to be a bit dangerous.
Yeah, not even that Flak 43. I mean, the 37mm, not the most beefy. Like, I realize it's essentially a copy, but...
It's pretty good.
Yeah,
I mean, actually, 2 of them are 2 to 3-star veterans, so he should be enough to keep any heavy tank mostly alive. I do think the bombers will still be able to get the bombs off, but just with inaccuracy.
If you really want to go and say, yeah, 2 or 3-star veterancy, yeah, that's great, that's true. I mean, if I go and give a, munitions truck 2 or 3-star veterancy, I'm sure I could take out a couple of units myself. But, like, if we're talking like a flat...
It makes a big difference for flat guns.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair, yeah. Of course, now we have a couple of Su-76s coming on in, and these are, I want to say, the indirect fire ones, aren't they? Yes, they are.
Yep, these are the artillery runs, so they can actually drop some... smoke can be extremely useful, and I do love seeing these Su-76s being deployed. I'd say, yeah, if he does use that smoke effectively, he could probably make some more pushes in the center. He does have a very good armored forces still with all the SUs.
Down south, we are seeing a bit of a German push, trying to get around the flank here. Regrettably, the Flammenwerfers, despite the fact that they've walked point, aren't really being used offensively now. They've done a little bit of scouting, that's for sure. But yeah, I would like to see them be deployed a little bit more aggressively than what they are right now.
Yeah, it's just kind of deploy them in the forest. We'll probably just make sure no tank or key decide to go for a southern stroll here. But even then...
Actually, you know what? I know why now. Orders.
Yeah, there we go.
Alright, take it back, gnef. I'm sorry that I ever doubted you.
Yeah, more of the half-track play is beautiful. Gonna be almost stressing out at Radevka, yeah. They still have the Superior hidden, and that Superior will prove to be, I think, a pretty big pain in the ass. Yeah, sure, Superior, exactly. But he's going to take out the little farmstead at least, so bringing it back to a 12-12.
Yep, but I think to a certain degree, this is that whole thing of trying to plug a hole into the dam. Like, you're using your thumb to put a hole in the dam. This, as of right now, you can't stand up to a lot of the Soviet kind of firepower, especially with, I would argue, the Pigrands.
He's doing good on the mortar half-track, to be fair. Like, he's definitely hitting above his rate thanks to that mortar half-track, but he does need a little bit more substantial forces here if he wants to actually hold the point. Because, yeah, the PE2 is going to be causing a bit of havoc. And, yeah, it's not a whole lot of infantry. But still, some good hits regardless.
That's fair. That's fair. More pack tracks being brought on in. We are into Phase B, so taking a quick look back on what we can be expecting from the Soviets. More of the same, Automachikis up in the north. We can see right now, this northern, whatever you want to call it, quite a bit of consternation happening right about now.
Yeah, we're seeing a high chance of being Gonzo, bringing on a bunch of CQC infantry, but same thing with gnef with those pioneers and half-tracks. Once again, just the good mortar play, or the mortar's a little bit back now. Will definitely help out once again to just stress out that Soviet shock troops.
And this finally turnabout is fair play, where we have the half-tracks being utilized by the Axis as opposed to what we usually see, the Ma Deuce and Co. absolutely blitzing some German equipment. But PE2s, they are active, they are often, and they are accurate. Here it comes to just kind of blow this to pieces. Skadoosh.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, when gnef has the mortar half-tracks, Gonzo has the PE2s, and frankly those PE2s are working really well. And we're also seeing the Su-76s actually do a bit of counter-battery fire here on those mortar half-tracks. I don't think they're really going to do all that much damage because, well, mortar half-tracks, they have a little bit of armor.
A little bit, yes, but even if it's incidental fire, it goes and hits maybe the flak positions, that's still pretty considerable, I would argue.
Yeah, I mean, Gonzo's doing a very good job, considering that his B-phase income is not to his advantage. He's got the 14-10 flag advantage, and when C-phase hits, he's going to be in an even better position.
What do we have coming in? More Vozvods. You know, the SU-76I, I look at that, and the only thing that kind of comes to mind is that it's just like someone took an SU-76 and tried to turn it into a Matilda tank.
It's more like they got a Panzer III and tried to turn it into an SU-76.
Hey, that's probably a better analogy than mine. I think I was
No, I literally just said what they did.
Blech.
Yeah.
No one wants actual historical accuracy. If we wanted that, we wouldn't be playing Steel Division 2.
Maybe playing Company of Heroes too.
Exactly. Where verbal Vins can take out anything.
Yeah. You gotta dodge the grenade, guys. It's that easy. You get like a 5-second countdown.
Oh yeah, and the entire thing screams, I am a 3-second grenade. Yeah, I'm right there.
Yeah.
A meager attempt is being pushed over here on the southern side, going after this town. I'm not sure I really like doing this unsupported with a couple of pack tracks, but they're going to try to engage those strokey GPs.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be able to pin them down, but he does need some more infantry forces, which are being brought up. And this could actually go really well. This is a pretty soft underbelly here in Gonzo's front line, and gnef is going to be exploiting that. The good use of mortar half-tracks and assault gun half-tracks will be enough to force him back.
If the T-34s and the Su-76Is don't cause any hassles.
Yeah, Panzer Grenadiers are going down south. That's a shame.
Yes.
I was really hoping he would actually go up north to actually exploit that breakthrough, because he doesn't have a whole lot of time before those Su-76s come online, and he really want to be inside the town. Yeah, we are seeing a Tiger on the opposite hill there, so that will provide some rather useful long-range fire support.
Well, I think right now, it's trying to build a little bit of momentum, and I can understand trying to take it a little bit easy. As of right now, you've been getting kicked in the teeth by all these heavy tank destroyers and artillery and those, godforsaken aircraft. You're kind of in a rough spot. Like, how do you fight back against an air-heavy play? Is that just kind of like, please put in as many 88s and mobile wagons and flak 43s as you can, or it's just kind of like, you gotta buck up and get as tight as possible?
Yeah, it's gonna need some of those 88s, and frankly, the use what limited fighter support he has left to actually start shooting down those PE2s. I mean, we are seeing gnef actually having a Fokker Wolf 190 on standby just in case another Soviet airplane tries to intrude his airspace. So he just needs to be a bit more proactive in that front, really, because, yeah, those PE2s are absolutely deadly. But the nice thing is that gnef has managed to stabilize it back to a trove, but as you know, with the incoming C phase, he is not exactly going to be at the best advantage.
No, sir. And the Su-76Is are going to go and impose their will and kick it right back to 1311 the other direction. Unfortunately, the mortar fire not able to be effective and consistent enough to force back the Su-76Is. And just when the Focke-Wulf comes off station...
It's going to land a bit short, or long, but the strokey DP is here. And the Su-76Is. Oh no, no, he's bombing the other Panzergrenadiers, my bad. But never mind, he has another PE2 for the 2 Panzergrenadiers in the air, which are now very dead. A little bit overkill. He really wants to make sure that no one's going to be leaving that building alive.
I'm just watching against this. Another Focke-Wulf is probably going to get completely and totally fucked. Yep, he goes down.
Not good at all, and I believe that's... Is that all of his fighters? Like, dedicated fighters now?
One more. I think he's got 1 interceptor, that's it.
Really, he's going to have to make that interceptor count. And we are seeing the continual counter-barrage here from the SU-76s. Trying to get, I believe, maybe the anti-aircraft gun more than anything.
This might be before your time, but he's the last starfighter right about now, which...
Yep, rushed right over my head.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah.
Fighting the Zandozans and the... No?
Nope.
Okay.
No idea.
The Goldan Armada?
Nope.
No, wow, okay.
Yes.
Alright,
This is
cool.
Going completely over my head, Con. You're really starting to show your age.
I am. You know what, the 80s were a different time, let's just put it that way. But we actually do have an SK-18 over here. He's trying to find the anti-air positions, which has happened about 2 fighters too late. But I admire him for trying.
Yeah. And that 100 mil is pretty much the perfect counter-battery piece. That's really what the SK-18's goal is just to blow up pinpoint positions, if I can speak the English, which can sometimes be quite hard.
Sprechen Sie the Kings? Yeah, I know,
yes.
It's a little weird, but I'll take it. Mobile wagon to the north. Again, a little bit too late here. ISU 122s are trying to engage this Tiger. And let's remember, folks, that's 200 millimeters of pen on one tank. And yes, it takes forever and a day to fire the stupid thing. But when you have 3 or 4 sources of fire, that Tiger does not want to be, hunted by anything like that.
Yep, and as we're seeing, gnef is going to be pulling that Tiger back into the forest. And maybe, hopefully, reaching for the prey to get closer. But Gonzo has done a lovely job of resecuring the center once again. The town is back under his control. And he still has that 1410 because he does have the center.
Actually, what I love is he's bringing in 3 more SU-76s. He's got 2 on the map already, which I love. Again, I like indirect fire play just in general, and I think the SU-76s are so often kind of used as just like, yes, these are anti-tank positions, and sure.
Yeah, that's because people usually get the anti-tank runs over the artillery runs most of the time.
But I feel like the artillery ones have so much more utility. I mean, you can get anti-tank in a dozen different ways. The artillery, you can't always get effective, consistent, mobile artillery.
Yeah, the indirect fire capabilities is pretty nice, I'm not gonna lie. I believe they are like quite a bit more expensive, that's the thing, because the anti-tank run is 35 points, while this one is 85 points, which is a 50-point difference. Which is quite an expensive tax for indirect firepower, but that goes to show just how effective being able to shoot people you can't see is.
Well, there's that part. I was just going to make the other comment I was going to make though too is that they still do preserve their anti-tank capability. And here come 2 82mm stovepipes with some Automachiki says I think as cover. Yeah, here's a knockout punch being set up.
And where are all those Avtos going?
Just right now,
just bring them onto the hill.
Yeah, but watch this. Watch this. He's going to barrage that north central town. He's going to throw the autos right through there.
I really hope he's going to do that, because that would be a fantastic play. And looking at it from gnef's angle, he really doesn't have a whole lot of anti-tank to cover that road coming down the hill. Like, that Avto rush could make a pretty good headway into that town.
PE2 might get brought to bay, but we're gonna be this P-Gren is just gonna be stressed to produce some back. Yeah.
We got 2 37 mils and 2 Flak 88s.
Wow. Okay. So the SU-76ers are looking for the anti-air positions. Mortars are engaged in that northern town, and do we see the orders being given to the Automachikis? Yep, the Chikis are going for that town.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, hopefully for gnef's sake he does realize, hey, why is there a bunch of smoke being dropped here, and try to bring in some reinforcements to hold onto that town. Because it's going to get very hot and heavy here. We are seeing a Panther A being brought in from gnef, but considering the air power advantage still, yeah, the potentially higher chance of Gonzo has, well, I don't really expect that Panther to either do much or live long.
Or prosper. You're absolutely right.
Or prosper at that matter, too. It's very hard being a Panther in 1944. The Allies have actually managed to develop anti-tank weapons to blow you up.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's 4 Shermans for every Panther. You know, instead of 2 girls for every boy, it's 4 Shermans for every Panther. And here comes the attack of the autos, so, you know, gonna debark here pretty quickly. And those Sturmgruppe, yeah, very good at long ranges. But, when the autos come through, if they actually get out of the truck, there we go.
There we go. Here, let's see how this goes. I do love how he managed to smoke that entire entrance into the town, but you have the 9D in a perfect position to give some fire support. And the Avtos are getting, you know, quite stressed out. The Sturmgruppe doing a decent job, but really be decent enough.
Well, here's the issue, is that the fact that the Shogun, like you said, that the pack track was doing a good bit of work there. And now that the pack track has been called out, 1 PE2 for the pack track, 1 PE2 for the Shog. And heck, even if he loses the autos, he's been able to now identify major sources of firepower. He's going to drop bombs on both of them. He's going to kill at least one. I'd be very surprised if the pack track doesn't go down. There we go.
Yeah, and he's going to get routed out of town for the time being, so not... He managed to locate at least some of the armor and blow him up a bit, but... He's very close to making a successful attack. Oh, he's got the second punch. That was just the screening force. We have a platoon of Strelky being brought in, and frankly, with everything in that town now being dead, thanks to the Avtos and the bombing strikes, this is a very good play here from Gonzo.
And this artillery park is imposing to watch. Just look over here. You see white streaks crawling across the sky, and now we have a 203 off map being brought in as well. So, the Strelkies, yes, they are going to be able to engage the northern town. I don't actually know if they're meant to attack the southern town. I feel like they're meant to go through the forest. They're going to hit a lot of resistance, and maybe curve on the northern side of it.
Huh. No, that would have been the perfect opportunity to just rush him in the town. Of course, with our God Vision, we know there's nothing there. I think Gonzo is not fully aware of that, unfortunately, so he's not going to be getting that 2-flag advantage there, because if he captured those 2 flags, he'd be at a plus 2 point advantage.
Well, right now, we are going to probably see the death of the last interceptor.
Oh yeah, he's flying right over.
There we go. And in the meantime, in the central position, we are going to see, actually, there was a short rush between 2 Strelkies and Resvedka. Pushback by Sturmgruppe as well as the Grill. So the Grill getting a little bit of play here. Probably going to actually hit his own guys in a second. Yeah, it's going to be terrible. Yowza. But
oh, it does friendly fire.
I don't know if I'm being sarcastic or not.
No, I'm being serious, because I remember I think the Avarice still doesn't do friendly fire.
No, but
I know in SD44 it didn't. So I was wondering if it was all like ground-based direct fire like large howitzers just didn't do friendly fire. But no, the Grill does, which makes sense. I don't think 150mm high explosive shell really cares if you're Russian or German.
Well, there was a thing I heard at one point that artillery isn't so much a, addressed, dear sir or madam. It's more of like a to whom it may concern kind of idea.
Yes. Especially rocket artillery. It's like, to this town in particular.
Exactly. We're dropping leaflets on you, made of iron and explosives.
This is how we celebrate 4th of July.
Or 1812, one or the other. Now, you got your wish. There are more Germans being rushed in to take that town, to really take the town back. A lot of pioneers actually being thrown in there. But everything around it is just being pounded into dirt. But 88 fires at a Soviet aircraft. Okay, fine. Take some artillery here.
Yeah.
And it's just continuous. Wow, that's a lot of artillery being used on one piece of equipment. I get why. But it's still imposing as well. Get out to watch. Jeez. Yeah,
that is just, like, nasty seeing all that artillery being used. And those Su-26s are very hard to kill or counter battery, because they're mobile and armored. You can just move them about, and the cheap 82mm mortars also, supplements a bit of extra free smoke. And we have been seeing some lovely smoke play, really, from both sides, which has been great. And also Gonzo, I feel like he's definitely been getting the better in his tank engagements.
Mm-hmm.
I've noticed that he hasn't really lost anything crazy, or he just hasn't really been paying attention, but You know, he still has a lot of his SUs, and he's just bringing out more of them. By God, he has many, many more SUs.
But if there's one thing I'd like to see right now, I'd love to see the KV-1E actually rotate south and drop an artillery on the town itself.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this is screaming, you have now suckered in your opponent, and now you're setting him up for a giant, fist to the face. This is... I don't know, I think this is a perfect opportunity. Maybe that's just...
Yeah. No, you're definitely correct. I mean, we're seeing another small push from 2 Avto squads, but as we know of the amount of stuff in the town, that's not going to work. Yeah, they have the smoke, which is nice, but once they get into the smoke, they're going to face a lot of STG fire and grenade bundles.
Okay, so look at the position of the first artillery strike. This kind of indicates something for us here, folks. This indicates that we're going to be seeing a lot of the Smokies ignore the town. The Automachiki kind of, sacrifice play over here, this is just to kind of keep them focused in the south, maybe draw a couple of units down. The big push is going to happen here in the north. Okay, there we go. That's one mystery solved, at least.
Yeah, it's interesting play, and I think he can. That's definitely a good play nonetheless, because if he can get into that forest, you could either hook up north to take that area, and also try to hook down south into the town, yeah, so we just have to see how it goes. That should be some pretty deadly artillery fire at 203 mil, and the SK-18 got counter-batteried to death. The irony.
Well, considering how much material was there, Su-85 does go down. I think that was courtesy of a Pack 40, or was it that Panther A? Probably the Panther A. And PE2s, the Sky mortars, are gonna start to pound the town consistently as well. So yeah, there's gonna be very little of that town left at the moment. Jeez.
Those PE2s are they just killed all the infantry.
Yeah.
Wow. This is such good firepower play here from potentially a high chance of being Gonzo. Maybe, maybe not. I'm gonna give it a 50-50 chance that it is actually him.
I love this artillery park, and I'm terrified of it at the same time.
Yeah, this is some artillery spam play, and it's working very well because gnef he either has to invest in heavy tanks, which can't really do too much, right? Because it's all the scary ISUs and SUs, and his only other supplement for killing a bunch of these medium tanks are those Pack 40 anti-tank guns, which, as we're seeing, are just getting hard countered by all this bloody artillery.
Mm-hmm.
By God, that's a lot of artillery. And it's not like he has a lot of, artillery of his own. He has the SKs, but at this point, they just get counter-batteried.
Our artillery shall blot out the sun. Fine, we shall fight in the...
Yeah, I wonder how supply... supply situation is still looking pretty good for here, full high chance of being Gonzo. With that B-phase card, he should actually...
He's been bringing in...
He's used up all the supply trucks.
Yeah, but he just brought in 2 fresh ones to resupply the Su-76s, so they're still going for another few minutes here.
Yeah. But he is eventually going to run out of ammo, but by that point I think he's going to be in a good position. I mean, he's got that 14-10 advantage still, and he is still leading on putting the pressure up north, and goddamn, it's just...
Well, we're starting to get to the
point.
point.
Of artillery.
We're starting to get to the point that he can lose 2-1 on anything he pushes, and he can still come out ahead. Look at this town push right now is awful to be Russian. Awful to be Russian. He's getting hit by his own artillery, but he's got SU-1, 152s, he's got ISU-122s. He's got all of this junk just shellacking the town from the south. These Automachikis and these Strelkis, they're playing nuclear warfare here because they don't care about taking over the population center. They just blow the thing to smithereens and then just kind of pick up the pieces.
Yeah, they're just slapping on the MBC gear and just walking into the radioactive race zone.
No, and yeah, I mean, that's kind of what's happening. Even all of these half-tracks, which in any other situation would be effective breakwaters, they can't really bring their firepower to bear on this super close-in fighting. I mean, the potential is slightly being wasted. I'd like to see him about another, maybe 750 meters southeast near that crossroads. Yep. But all the same, you put them someplace, they're going to just get artillery to death.
Yeah, I'm still in awe at the amount of goddamn artillery being used here.
Yeah.
It's almost making me feel disgusted with how much artillery there is, but I know it'd be a bit hypocritical of me saying that because we've been complaining for months about how people don't use artillery. And now we're in a meta where people are very much encouraged to use artillery, and well, it's also the Panzer Deutschland, as I mentioned before, the anti-tank guns and heavy tanks does make it a pretty easy artillery target.
And let's be fair here. I mean, before this, it was always the complaint was, yes, they can only work in a 10v10 kind of thing, and like push my glasses up further up my nose, but like. This has been so much fire support. Like this is another opportunity about fire support, how you should be playing it.
Yeah, to suppress the hell out of the enemy and rush on up, and it's working really well. I mean, it's got that one flag in the town. I mean, the rest of the map is pretty much dead quiet, as it's all just been funneled into this northern town fight, which just gives high chance of Gonzo great momentum.
I'm kind of wondering about this. I feel like Juggernaut is all about suckering your opponent into just trying to outlast you. And maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like that's kind of the thing here. It's, I'm going to just throw more and more troops at you, and you're going to try to out-attrition me because you think this is a really important area. Now, I'm not saying gnef has an opportunity to really kind of flank around the south. There has been grand, should have gone around the right kind of idea here. But I'm sure we'll see over here in the stats. Yeah, look at that KD.
Holy moly macaroni.
SU-152.
That's
obliterating.
Is that over 2K?
Yes.
That's 2002. Oh,
yes.
I'm sorry, gnef, for casting this. Damn, that is, like, bad.
Like, SU-152, 1 PE2. SU-85, PE2 again, 3 kills. SU-85, 5 kills. The PE2s, yes, to be fair, there was one PE2 who just absolutely obliterated everything. Another ISU-122's got a Stug, a Panther, a Tiger, and a half-track. He's hit the big 4. Like, I mean, there were some weapon systems that just could not be touched.
Yeah. Yeah, and look at losses here. There's nothing really too much. Yeah, I don't think that was a good division for that map. You really want something a bit more medium tank spammy to... especially like Orsha North or Orsha East, those heavy tanks just couldn't really do anything, especially considering all the SU-85s and ISUs. There's not really much you can do with them, really. So
exactly.
So yeah, but I have actually managed to confirm with my sources, Khan, that in fact high chance of being Gonzo is in fact Gonzo. So we've got that sorted.
Yes, that is true. But thankfully, we do actually have those 3 question marks over here on his deck. So, yeah, it's good. It's good to know that we have that confirmed. So, thank you, sources, for me very much.
No problem. It only cost me $100 to get the private investigator to find out. I'm going to go charge my visa after this.
Now, what, folks? When he says $100, don't think too bad. He means 100 Zimbabwe bucks.
I'm probably going to say Canadian bucks for a second.
Nah, we're going to leave the loony out of it.
But yeah, that was a stunning match, especially if you're a German infantryman.
Yeah, that certainly fit the idea of shock and awe. But well done to Gonzo. gnef, I'm sorry that you had to be on the other side of that tutorial right there. But folks, we are going to bring you another real good game here over on Friday. Rang, any last thoughts about this one, though, before we say goodbye?
Nope.
Well, folks, in that case, then, until then, I'm Conal Work.
I'm Rangaroo. Take it easy.